What's your take on the tanker market?
Recently, we saw some significant rate movement in the VLCC sector and even the Suezmax sector. And I think that although the broader fundamentals might not have changed that much, I think people might want to recalibrate the model a little bit that they're working off of when you see these markets get an occasional bump in rates that was very much unexpected, that the market might not be as bad overall as people once thought.
Talk a little bit more about the spike in the spot market.
Yeah, well, you had a combination of things, and the Atlantic Basin showed some strength in both VLCCs and Suezmaxes, and the Suezmax rates have since come off, but the VLCCs have held firm, and you have a market in the Middle East that's still pretty firm. So you have a lot of optimism that was not there even 2 months ago. People are a little more optimistic than they were.
Are people more optimistic about the product tanker sector than they are the crude sector?
Yeah, the fundamentals of the clean sector are a little bit better. You have smaller net fleet growth, and you have the likelihood of the increasing ton mile with refinery closures on the East Coast and refinery closure down in Hovensa. That just means that marginal barrel will probably have a longer ton mile attached to it, which is supportive of rates.
One of the big topics that you just touched on today was, where are we in the cycle? Has the market bottomed?
It's possible. I don't think anybody's capable of calling a bottom. You do have a few factors that you do look at that tell you that might suggest you're near the bottom. There's a case to be made that we're at or near the bottom for crude tankers.
When do you expect to see a recovery, and how would you define a recovery?
That's the million-dollar question. And part of the confusion over people listing or calling for a bottom is that a bottom doesn't necessarily mean an upturn. And that's kind of the magic question here. Just because we might be at the bottom, when might the upturn occur? That's hard to say. The broad fundamentals are still a little bit soft for the crude tanker market, but when you see these markets double or triple in a matter of a week or so in what owners can earn, it does suggest that the bottom might be at hand, and at some point there could be a sustained upturn.
What factors are in play right now that could help the tanker market recover?
The ton mile equation. If you see China sourcing more barrels from West Africa than the Middle East, for example, if they turn to West Africa for a more secure source, that's going to increase ton miles. Recently, we heard that Vela had chartered 9 VLCCs from the Middle East to the United States. That's positive for ton miles. That takes ships out of the market for longer periods, and it reduces the effective supply of ships to offer in the spot market.
What type of impact is the situation going on with Iran having on the market?
Well, nothing yet. The spot market is what it is, and that the potential for a future event doesn't necessarily have a reason to impact spot rates. But the history of conflict shows that tanker rates are probably the possibilities that they move to the upside on any sort of global conflict. But what history also shows is that once the conflict is said and done, that the broad fundamentals do come back pretty quickly. That if rates did spike, that you do see the fundamentals eventually take over once again.